Our Weimaraner, I mean, now he's getting old as well, and it can be pretty cold in Central Oregon. He wears a coat in the winter when it's cold.
Yeah.
Because he's looking at this one trying to take the tree down.
Do you ever put shoes on them? I've seen
No.
some.
And we tried putting shoes on her feet to protect them from the salt, and she'd lift one foot up, and then you put the second shoe up, and that was it. She wouldn't move. So I just had to carry a towel and just wipe her feet as we moved along. But I've never tried with a Weimaraner. He's always been fine. You are determined to pull that on, aren't you? Yeah. But I think Weimaraners are just, there's something different.
Glorious.
Yeah, there is
glorious
just
about
something,
them.
but people have different preferences for breeds. We just happen to be pretty fond.
So, does your Weimaraner at home have their tail full
He had
on?
his docked. Unfortunately, before we got to them, he'd already had his tail cut. So we're thrilled to have one that doesn't. I think they look lovely, actually, with their tails on.
You don't think it's necessary to duck the tails?
Well, it can't be necessary to take off something that's essential, important in a dog's life. They help them with the balance, and they help them to signal to each other what's going on. And actually, you can tell quite a lot from your own dog by what its tail's doing. If it's upset, down between its legs. If it's happy, it's usually wagging or moving around. So they're pretty important, I think, tails for a dog.
It communicates what the dog is feeling and trying to convey.
Yep, absolutely. Not particularly familiar with Weimaraners. I mean, they probably, unless you know that the sort of what people expect is the cut tail. But in England, I had it was actually my sister's dog. We had a Weimaraner when we were growing up, and she came with a cut tail. But in Europe, actually most of Europe now, it's illegal to cut tails or crop ears, for cosmetic reasons. So you wouldn't be able to even get one now with a tail cut.
Yeah.
Well, it's very old at the present time because in Europe, in England in particular, if you want to show a Weimaraner and its tail is left and its dew claws have been taken off, then it would be prohibited from showing.
Oh, okay.
Whereas in the US,
It's opposite.
then you'll lose marks, basically. So it's a time of transition.
Yeah, that's true. But most European countries are the same, and Australia, I think.
It's interesting, looking at beauty standards and how they change throughout the years, both for dogs and for people.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Like, I remember when thin eyebrows used to be the craze. People would just overpluck their eyebrows.
Yes, that's true, and it's a very painful and rather sore-looking experience. Yeah. How old are the labs?
They're 4 days older.
Oh, 4 days
They
older.
were born on Valentine's Day.
Ah.
It's crazy how time flies. Like,
It does. Yeah.
They were just little babies.
yeah. It's funny because Stella is a Christmas baby, one of our other dogs. So she was born on Christmas, and then another litter of labs was born on Halloween, and these little labs were born on Valentine's Day.
So they pick holidays to be.
The longer we have these dogs, the more chances we have of getting a holiday litter.
I suppose that's true. It's just a matter of sort of time.
So back to the tails, we now refuse almost to duck the tails because it is unnecessary.
Yeah.
There's no point, and we haven't had any buyers, have their dogs for show anyway, so again, there's no need. And then for dew claws, we had a buyer say that her Weimaraner uses her dew claws to scratch her face sometimes, so she uses them in her day-to-day basis, and you probably agree with that viewpoint as well, correct?
Yeah. Oh, I would. I mean, anytime you cut anything for anything other than a medical reason, you're putting the dog at risk, because no matter how carefully it's done, you're cutting something open and there's a risk of infection.
Yeah.
I don't really see there's any reason. They have dew claws for a reason, and so I don't see why you would take them off. they are, they're in anytime, if you cut its tail or you cut its ears or you cut its root or off, you're risking infection. So it's a risk for the dog, it's painful. And in fact, the American Veterinary Medical Association, they haven't come out and said it's illegal, and obviously they can't, but they're opposed to it in principle for cosmetic reasons. Clearly if the dog's injured itself and it's necessary to remove something, even its tail, that's obviously okay, but I just don't see why you would want to take them off.
Yeah.
Sweetie. He's a biggie. I suppose I could take my mask off. What a cute... Oh, I know. You want to go down, don't you? You really... Yes. Oh, goodness me.